welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. And inside today, the Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints. And this is a football game that you look forward to all year long. In the AFC East, Miami with a record of 8-3, they are chasing Buffalo. In the NFC West, New Orleans with a record of 8-3, they are chasing San Francisco. Hello, everybody. This is Charlie Jones along with Todd Christensen. And this can really be one of those great ball games during the season. However, there is a bit of a damper as far as the Miami Dolphins are concerned because defensively, once again, they will be without John Offerdahl.
And certainly their defense is not the same without John Offerdahl. They were number 2 in the NFL in rush defense when John Offerdahl was in the lineup. Over the last 6 weeks, teams have run some 50% better without him. So they're really missing something in Offerdahl.
They also will be without Mark Sander.
And Mark Sanders is backup. So that, in effect, what that means is that they're going to have to go with some people inside at the inside linebacker position that have not played there before. That's why they're going to start with their 45, which is basically a pass defense.
However, New Orleans is known for their defense, but if they are to take advantage of any defensive problems that Miami will have, it will be up to this man, Bobby Hebert.
Well, no doubt about it, Bobby Hebert. A lot of people don't realize his 16 touchdown passes, second only to Steve Young in the NFC. He is the trigger man for the Saints, a very underrated quarterback in this league.
New Orleans won the toss. They'll be receiving. Vaughn Dunbar and Fred McAfee are the return men. And at the 2-yard line, it is Dunbar. And he is dropped at the 16-yard line. 14 yards on the return. And for the New Orleans Saints, here is Bobby Hebert. And offensively, he will be joined by Dalton Hilliard, Greg Hayward, Eric Martin, Quinn Early, and the tight end is Hobie Brenner. His offensive line is Cooper, Dombrowski, Hilgenberg, Kennard, and Stan Brock with that dislocated big toe is starting. And as usual, the New Orleans Saints will open on the ground, and it is Dalton Hilliard with John Grimsley making the tackle. Defensively now for the Miami Dolphins, the front 6.
Griggs, the big difference here, of course, is that Brian Cox is going into the inside as a result of the injuries to John Offerdahl and Mark Sander. They're going to have to do some different things and then go with 5 in the secondary.
This is what the secondary will look like. Vincent Brown, Alexander Hobley, and Oliver. Second down and 9. Greg Hayward gets the call. And he goes to the 21-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Charlie, the leading rusher for the Saints this year has been Vaughn Dunbar, their number 1 pick, but he has barely over 400 yards. I'm surprised that they haven't utilized Ironhead more. A lot of people have forgotten that in his days at the University of Pittsburgh, his senior year, it was over 1,500 yards. This is somebody that can make some major contributions in the running game, but basically, he's been the lead blocker in the Saint offense.
3rd down and 6. Hebert now from the shotgun. With Hilliard back with it. 4-man rush by Miami. He steps forward. The pass is incomplete. He goes to Eric Martin. He cannot hang on to it. It will be 3 and out for New Orleans. They will be kicking. J.B. Brown had the coverage for Miami.
Good pressure by the front 4 of the Dolphins. That was a concern as whether or not they're going to be able to get some pressure with that front 4, but Marco Coleman makes Hebert step up, throw off the wrong foot, and even if Martin does come over the catch, he would have been a yard short. Good coverage by Brown.
So it is 4th down. Tommy Barnhart will be kicking. Scott Miller is the return man for Miami, and any kind of a return 10-12 yards, the Dolphins will start their first offensive series with excellent field position. Fair catch is called for and taken at the 44-yard line, near the 45-yard line, where Miami will go to work behind the arm of Dan Marino. And Marino will be joined by Mark Higgs and Tony Page with Duper Clayton. Keith Jackson is the tight end. And a change in that offensive line, and that is that Ulenek, the offensive center, still bothered by that ankle problem. And Bert Widener will be starting at center. Ulanake is inactive for the ball game. And now the crowd immediately into the ball game. Miami from their own 45. And Mark Higgs gets the call, and there's nothing there. It'll be second down and 10. Defensively for the New Orleans Saints, and this is what everybody talks about, that front seven, with Martin, Wilkes, and Warren in particular, the four linebackers, Jackson, Mills, Johnson, and Pat Swilling. In the secondary, it'll be Cook and Jones on the corners, Taylor and Atkins at safety.
And Charlie, every one of those linebackers, all four of the linebackers for the New Orleans Saints at one time or another have been to a Pro Bowl. I don't think there's a better group in the National Football League.
Second down and 10. Higgs with a couple of yards, and that's all he's going to get. Ricky Jackson makes the tackle. 47-yard line, third down and 8. When we talked with Miami, as you will take a look at Ricky Jackson, when we talked with Miami, he said, we have to establish the run. We have to establish the run. We cannot give up on the run. Now they're to the pass.
Well, Jackson got the best of the two Jacksons there. He just stuffed Keith Jackson into the backfield. Of course, people realize that Keith Jackson's forte is catching the ball, but he's going to have to do a lot better job of blocking on Ricky today if they're going to get any kind of running game.
As Don Shula told us, he is a willing blocker.
Willing, but in that case, not able.
Third down and 8. Here's a little shovel pass underneath to Bobby Humphrey. And New Orleans was waiting on it. Maybe 3. It'll be fourth down. Vince Buck with the tackle.
Vince Buck did an outstanding job. Watch number 26 in the middle of your screen. He has Bobby Humphrey man for man. Look at him step up right there. He has Humphrey coming out of the backfield. He was not fooled by the Utah pass. And you know what this crowd reminds me of, John? It reminds me of the old days of the Giant defense, when Andy Robustelli, after the defense scored, went out on the field and said to one of the offensive guys, see if you can hold him.
The Reggie Roby will be kicking. Patrick Newman is the return man. He's at the 10-yard line. Oh, he hangs a beauty. Fair catch, and he takes it at about the 8-yard line, where the Saints will move on offense. We'll step aside. We have no score first quarter.
The Saints have had has been in the punt return department, and Patrick Newman makes a mental error here. That's striped the 10-yard line. As soon as the ball's over your head, you let it go. By fair catching it at the 7 or 8, you put your team in a bad situation. Let the ball bounce, and if the Dolphins make a play and pin it down, great for them. But if not, you have the ball on the 20-yard line. Jim Mora told us yesterday that they finally found somebody in Patrick Newman that could just catch the ball. But there, he'd have been better off just to let it go.
Saints first down, their own 8-yard line. Hilliard, the remaining back. Hebert takes a lot of time. Goes on first down, and it is caught. Eric Martin pulls it down at the 28-yard line. First down. Bruce Alexander with the coverage at a gain of 20 yards.
And Bruce Alexander, normally that would have been Vesty Jackson's spot. They talk about catching the ball in your hands. Great catch by Eric Martin. That's why he's been the leading receiver for the Saints over the last 6 years.
First down of the ball game. Hayward and McAfee come into that offensive set. Went early in motion to the right side. Here's McAfee, and he is shut down. Marco Coleman, the rookie, made the penetration and got it.
In chatting with Tom Olivadotti yesterday, I asked, are you going to have Marco Coleman gain some weight in the offseason? He's playing defensive end at only 260 pounds. I say only because most people now are around 280 to 300 pounds, but you can see there with the quickness, he gets inside the left tackle and makes the play on Hilliard in the backfield. He made a point talking about leverage.
He said the key to his success is the leverage that he gets. I said, what does that mean? He said he puts his hand underneath the shoulder pads of the man across him, pushes him out of the way like you're lifting weight, and then he can look around. Plays off of it. That's his real strength.
Also helps that you can bench press 450 pounds.
That may be his real strength. Here is pressure in the shot. Brian Cox. That is his 11th sack of the year.
Well, Brian Cox is playing at an all-pro level. Not only does he have 11 sacks, but coming into the game, he was also leading the team with 82 tackles. The man from East St. Louis, coming from the top of your screen, Aber just not quick enough to get around him. Cox says about himself, I'm not that big and I'm not that fast, but I do it on heart. Well, he also does a little bit of on a talent. You can see him coming from the inside. The swim move there gets right past Hilgenberg to nail Hebert with the sack.
And that is against a Saint offensive line that has been very stingy with the sacks this year.
Best in the National Football League. That's only the 11th sack the entire year that they've given up.
Third down and 21. Hebert with a little shovel pass underneath to Hilliard, and he is out to the 25-yard line. If the Dolphins can run the play, so can we. It will be fourth down. They'll be kicking.
And a good play on the part of the Saints. There's no way they're going to get the first down, get a safe pass, give your punter a little bit of room. The way both teams are playing early fairly conservatively, this feels like it could come down to the field goal kickers.
And two great ones here today. Morton Anderson and Pete Stoyanovich. Both are pressure kickers. First the punter, Tommy Barnhart. First punt was 34 yards. Scott Miller is the return man. This one is better. Miller backpedal. Takes it to the 20-yard line, and he is in trouble. Patrick Newman. Remember him? He had the fair catch. He shouldn't have. He got him. Good play. No score. Back in a moment.
Mazda, it just feels right. Buy Head & Shoulders 2-in-1 with complete conditioners built in. Buy Ace Hardware. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. And by Miller Lite, an official sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 27.
They always tell you that you have to beat the first man on punt coverage, but that's not the case here. Miller cuts upfield, and a Tony for his mistake earlier. Patrick Newman just stuffed him. A 56-yard net on that punt.
A first down for Miami at the 20-yard line, and here is Higgs. He jumps to the outside, turns the corner, and he fights for 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. Let's call it the 26-yard line. It'll be second down and 4. Reginald Jones moves up from right corner and makes the stop.
Well, either side, Keith Jackson's going to be looking at all pros. On the one side, it's going to be Jackson. On this side, it's Swilling. He does a much better job staying in front of him. Swilling doesn't make the play, but he does force him to the outside. 6-yard gain. The Dolphins will certainly take that.
Second down and 4. Marino to throw on second and 4. And it is incomplete. When we talked with Dan Marino yesterday, injured player.
Looks like Tony Page, their lead blocker, and that would be a blow. Hopefully it's just the wind knocked out. One of the more underrated blocking backs in the National Football League. 35 catches coming into this game, in addition to doing a yeoman job in front of the likes of Higgs and Humphrey. Interesting point with regards to the running game of the Dolphins. Don Shula talked about how they haven't been able to get the running game generated. Hopefully we'll get a chance here to see Tony Page and what happened to him. Pass protection. Cutting across here, you can see him right there. He takes a shot and beats a chip. Good play on the part of Vaughn Johnson right there at the back. It looks like he might have pulled a hamstring. Lands on his hand there, trying to straighten out that right leg. Nothing illegal about that. Vaughn Johnson just had him in coverage before the ball was thrown. Does a good job chucking him.
A program to note, it's tonight an evening packed with action and suspense, starting with Secret Service. A mob informant's murder is staged to nail a high-profile gangster, followed by eyewitness video where you'll see incredible footage of one woman's survival from the jaws of a whale, plus the powerful world premiere from the files of Joseph Wambaugh, Jury of One. That's all tonight on NBC.
Page bouncing up and going off the field. My guess there was probably a cramp in the hamstring, trying to straighten his leg out. Of course, it's a little bit early in the game to get cramps, which it is.
Third down and 4.
Excellent Plan B acquisition for the Dolphins from Detroit with Tony Page.
Marino changing the play with the visual signal, has the pressure, he goes down. Now that is the 9th time in the last 2+ games, 2 flags are down, that Marino has been sacked. When we asked him about it, he said, you know, you feel the pressure, so you can feel it coming from the backside. He said, I've always been able to do that.
But it's going to go for naught. 2 flags down with regards to defensive holding. the Saints uncharacteristically went with a little bit of a blitz, putting them in man-for-man coverage, and they caught somebody with their hands on the jersey.
And the Saints, the least penalized team in the National Football League, and usually that honor goes to Miami. Here's the call.
Holding defense, number 27, automatic first down.
It's on Reginald Jones, the cornerback. Automatic first down, 31-yard line.
Reggie Jones, number 27 here, is going to get caught here with Duper. Going to get his hands on top of him. Right there. Oh, yeah, that's interestingly enough, Charlie, what they were running there is they were running a pick play. Duper was going to run into Troy Cook. And so prior to them being able to do that, New Orleans did something illegal.
That was a big-time hold. Bobby Humphrey gets the call on first down. Wayne Martin with the tackle. For an update, let's go to Bob Costas in New York.
Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, Charlie. Bengals to punt. They try and fool the Steelers by snapping it to the up man, Eric Ball. But Ball is unable to hold on to the ball, and it's picked up by Charles Davenport, who goes 32 yards with the recovery for the Steeler touchdown. Pittsburgh at 8-3, leading 7-0.
Thank you, Bob. Here we have no score, but who would have thought at the beginning of the season that Pittsburgh, one of the powerhouses in the National Football League?
Yeah,
the surprise team.
Absolutely. No way you'd have thought they'd be 8-3 at this point.
Second down and 8, little swing to Humphrey right side, and he is decked at the 30-yard line by Pat Swilling.
Charlie, Pat Swilling beats Richmond Webb and comes completely from the other side of the field. Take a look at the speed of number 56. Watch, he's going to beat Richmond Webb to the inside. It's a screen pass to the other side of the field. Watch number 56 run this down. Look at the speed of Pat Swilling. Pow! And he lets Humphrey have it. Great pursuit. All-Pro last year, led the league in sacks with 17. Only, I say only, has 9 this season. But he is certainly a force.
Third down and 11. Fred Banks checks into the offensive set. Marino from the shotgun. Marino has pressure far side. It is incomplete, and Dan is getting rid of the ball a little early today.
That's very observant, Charlie. Somebody who's been in the league as long as Dan has, this being his 10th season, you wouldn't think that a quarterback would have the happy feet. But Clayton on the out route, that ball wasn't even close.
We talked to Dan Marino yesterday about the injuries to the quarterbacks. He said, can they be protected? Do you want more protection? Do you want rule change? He said, no. He said, no, the quarterbacks have to be smarter. We've got to avoid it. He said, that problem is ours, nobody else.
Well, and he's a PhD because this is like his 140th consecutive start, way ahead of anybody else in the league.
Here's Newman from the 20 to the 30. And then he steps out of there. We have no score. Miami and New Orleans, 5.5 left in the first.
Clayton asked him, he wants to come back a little bit, but Clayton's saying, no, I was in the right spot. And said, you just had a little bit too much pressure, partner.
Why the shades indoors on Clayton?
Very good question. I think he's stylish.
I think he is. Bruce Alexander, pulled groin, Miami Dolphins. He's the quarterback behind J.B. Brown. Injuries are tearing their defense apart. They do not expect him back today.
With a combination of Bessie Jackson out for the season with a knee injury, and now this, they're having to play some people that ordinarily would be just special teamers.
First down, Saints, their own 38-yard line. McAfee, the running back, and he gets the call. And it was Marco Coleman who got a hand on his ankle and pulled him down. Marco's going to pick up a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Marco Coleman's definitely getting the best of Richard Cooper right here. He is using his quickness. Watch the left of your screen. Number 90 is going to cut across, beat the block, get his leg, get a hand on McAfee, and prevent him from getting any gain at all. We mentioned the weight factor there as a defensive end. That certainly, he could be the lightest defensive end in the league, but right now he's one of the most effective, certainly.
Hayward and McAfee are now the 2 running backs. 2nd and 9. No score, first quarter. Little play action. And incomplete. Going to Eric Martin. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Now, one of the things that Aber likes to do is to show that constant play action and then come on with it and throw underneath to Dalton Hilliard.
Well, in that case, he was looking for Eric Martin, but once again, the pressure by the Dolphins. Jeff Cross, in this case, pushing upfield, doing a good job pressuring Aber out of the pocket and to throw when he doesn't want to.
3rd down and 9. the shotgun with Hilliard back with him. Hilliard stays in the block. Hebert scrambles, completes the pass, first down, Eric Martin. That was a conversion on 3rd and 9, 44-yard line of Miami. Big play for New Orleans.
Tom Olivedati made reference to the fact that Bobby Hebert does a pretty nice job of scrambling. He's not pretty. He's no Steve Young, and he's certainly no Randall Cunningham. But watch him step up here. Someone has him by the foot, throwing across his body, still able to get the ball to Martin. Excellent job by Hebert. Marco Coleman cuts up, beats Cooper, and thank goodness for Dalton Hilliard. Otherwise, Coleman would have stuffed Hebert for a sack.
And a gain of 17 yards. First down, 44-yard line of Miami. No score in the ball game, first quarter. And the Saints go right back to the ground game. Dalton Hilliard. 6 yards to the 38, second down and 4.
Now that's the Saints version of the counter tray, except for in this case, Hebert goes to the tailback. Good job on the left side of the line. Take a look here. The tight end, Brenner, does a nice job of pushing Coleman down. Good job by Hobie Brenner on the down block, eliminating Coleman. And that's one of the problems right there of being a little bit lighter. If you don't see him, a 260-pounder can get knocked down by a tight end. He's 240, 250.
John Grimsley and Dwight Hollier on the tackle. Second down and 4. And here is Hilliard. First down, 33-yard line. Needed 4, he got 5. Grimsley and Coleman on the stop.
Good push by the right side of the line. Hilliard, 3 years ago, a 1,000-yard rusher, really the focal point of the offense. Knee injuries have cost him over the last couple of years, but he's just now rounding into shape. In 6 straight games, he has scored touchdowns heading into today's contest.
First down, Saints.
I was going to say local product made good. Dalton Hilliard, a graduate of LSU.
Hebert goes for it, and it's caught. 1-yard line, Quinn Early. 32 yards, first and goal.
Quinn Early providing the speed that heretofore the Saint receivers have not had. And once again, classic case, Stephen Bragg. Acquisition off of waivers from the Cleveland Browns, a cornerback that normally, as we mentioned, would not be playing anything other than special teams. Now put into action as a result of the injuries. Hebert sharp, he burns him.
And what did he say about Quinn Early? We got him from San Diego. He was the slowest one there. He's the fastest we have here.
Emphasis in the offense a little different for those two teams.
First down goal to go. Hilliard, touchdown.
Tight ends on the outside do a good job of keeping people inside. Rarely do you see a situation where people can bounce to the outside like that, but Lewis Oliver loses contain. Hayward bumps him just enough, enabling Hilliard to cut to the outside and get the 6.
62 yards on the drive in 7 plays to just over 3.5 minutes, and Morton Anderson will attempt the point after. And it is good. And the Saints move on top by a score of 7-0. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment.
Richard Cooper had been struggling a little bit with Marco Coleman earlier. He's the one that makes the key block here on Griggs, cutting outside the tight end, enabling Hayward to get down on Cooper, and then Hilliard cutting to the outside for the score. Now that's 7th straight games for Dalton Hilliard scoring touchdowns for the Saints.
Mike Williams will field the kickoff 8 yards deep. Touchback will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Tom Olivedati, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, when we talked with him yesterday, he said, when I get past my starting corners, I've got 3 midgets. I've got Alexander at 5'9", Braggs at 5'9", and Terry Glenn at 5'9", and already he has lost Bruce Alexander. That's Mean Joe Green, of course, there on the right of your screen, taking up most of the
I was going
screen.
to say, of more significance in the middle in the T-shirt is John Offerdahl, a man that I know that Tom Olivadotti wishes was in pads today.
Miami now from their own 20-yard line, first down, trailing 7-0. Offensively, the Saints have shut down the Dolphins. Reno's pass is complete to Mark Clayton, and he is dropped immediately. Boy, the Saints aren't giving you anything, are they?
Reggie Jones really put the knock on him there, and I think that was one of those purpose passes, meaning we just got to get a completion here. Short little hook pass, Von Johnson there. Actually, that was a poor job on the part of Duper. He should have ran his route to get Von Johnson out of the area, but he didn't. As a result, it was his man that made the tackle.
And for Mark Clayton, that is 88 straight games with a reception, 2nd down and 5. Play action, fakes ahead, pass is complete, first down, 32-yard line. Tony Page pulls it in. So spotted at the 32, a gain of 7.
Dan Marino, when we talked with him yesterday, mentioned this is one of the things we're going to have to do. Throw to the backs and throw underneath to the tight ends because they're not going to be able to afford the luxury of the 7-step drops because of the pass rush of the Saints. And so look for Page and Jackson to make a few more catches throughout this contest.
And now with 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, Miami has a total offense of 21 yards. That's 2-1. First down, Dolphins. Reno goes for it, and it is incomplete. Mark Duper, the intended receiver, and Reginald Jones in excellent coverage.
Excellent coverage is right in his face. He's down, though. We'll see what the situation is, but right here, right there with Duper, running stride for stride. Duper actually trying to push him off, but Jones does a good job looking at his eyes and then looking back on the ball when he sees Duper looking up.
And we have an injury timeout.
That's Jones on the ground there. It looked to me like it might have been a turf burn there on his knee. You can see the socks don't make it all the way up to the pants. Second-year man from Memphis State. Establishing himself early here, not just with coverage, but with hits. Take a look here, if we can, at the end of the play to see what happens. His man Adkins comes over and actually pushes him. Take a look at right there. He lands on his left knee a little bit. That could have been what it is. Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Jones this season has 1 interception and a 71-yard touchdown return.
It's amazing the confidence that this defense is playing with. I find it interesting that after they went 3 and punt, instead of booing the offense, they get up and have this rousing cheer for the defense. I was impressed this weekend, too, Charlie, in between bites of jambalaya. The number of Saint fans that came to me very knowledgeable about football down here. I mean, they are very aware of what's happening defensively and special teams. A number of people that came up to me and said that they felt like they were going to win the game because they had Barnhart, the great kicker, with a 39-yard net, and of course Morton Anderson, the great place kicker. I thought, how many times do you have fans run up to you and say that? They usually come and say, oh, we got the great quarterback or we got a great runner. And fans are coming up and he's talking about special teams. Very impressive.
Jim Moore, the head coach of the Saints, and what a turnaround he has had with this whole organization. But now, not only do they expect him to win, they expect him to win the Super Bowl. There's a lot of pressure on this ball club.
And a lot of pressure during these 11 days, Charlie. The Saints, this will be the second of 3 games that they will play in the course of 11 days. They have a game against Atlanta on Thursday night. And this is, that's a tough stretch. Fortunately, as he pointed out, all 3 games were at home.
Going from Monday to Sunday to Thursday. From a player standpoint, is it tough to get up each time emotionally?
It's not only is it tough emotionally, but all 3 games are on AstroTurf.
Tough physically.
I found myself in the tub an awful lot during that time.
Here is Higgs. And he's going to get a couple of yards, and that's going to be it. And we'll take the countdown to the end of the first quarter. With 1 in the book, 3 to go. Saints lead it 7-0.
groin injury. I know what happens. You have to drop your pants. You have to have some people apply a little modesty here so the fans don't get a free shot.
Those are the famous Gatorade towels. Modesty. Start the second quarter. Miami trailing. Look at this. Those statistics, will come back to those numbers in a moment. Very important, showing you the domination of the Saints defense. Here's a screen. Humphrey has it.
Good call. Good call.
40, 45, first down.
Good call.
Capitalizing on the pressure of the Saints. Yeah.
Absolutely right. Sam Mills came with the inside backer blitz. They had the right call to Humphrey in that situation. Watch number 51 in the middle of your screen. Here he comes on the blitz. Humphrey bumps him off. Right there, Mills should have known that was such an easy block. They should have known he was going out in the flat. A lot of AstroTurf in front of him. He waits for Widener to get out front. He gives him a pretty good block. But good pursuit on the backside by Jim Wilkes to make the tackle. Still, though, Dolphins first down.
A gain of 13 on the play. The ball at the 48-yard line. Miami in their own territory. Reno now to throw on first down. Drops this one over the middle to Tony Page. And this will be close to the first down. And again, the Dolphins capitalizing on the pressure of the defensive line.
Marino made the point. He said there's nothing fancy here. They back up into the zones, rush 4, and there's Page underneath. There's nobody there because they've already backpedaled up into their zone. Sure, Mills and Von Johnson come up and make the tackle, but that's after a 9-yard gain, and the Dolphins will certainly take that.
And it's second down and 1.
Don Shula said about Tony Page, he gives us a feeling of physicality. He's our tough guy on offense.
And here is Higgs, bounces off one of his own players. He runs into Richard Webb trying to cut back inside. He's going to pick up no gain. He needed a yard for the first down. It's going to be third down and 1.
Von Johnson on the penetration, probably the least known of the 4 backers, at least as far as I know. He's the only one without a nickname. He does a nice job inside and actually does a good job in pass coverage. He said in the papers that this week he was looking forward to the challenge of defending against Keith Jackson in the middle of the field, and so far Keith Jackson's without a catch.
Third down and 1. Fumble. New Orleans has the ball. And Higgs was stuffed.
There it was, Von Johnson again. Number 53 in the middle of your screen. Take a look at the penetration. There's nobody there to get him. Bang! Puts his head to head, and then he strips the ball with his left hand. Outstanding play by Von Johnson. Ricky Jackson on top of the ball. And when we come back, the Saints in good field position, up by 7. Stuff in here for the big third down play, but take a look at his left arm. His left arm is going to come in and strip the ball right here. Watch the left hand right here. Watch it come in and take the ball away from Higgs. Now this is also a heads-up play on the part of Ricky Jackson. Not so much the recovery, but the fact that there's a lot. How many times have you seen a defensive player try to pick up the ball and run, lose the ball, and lose possession back to the offense? Ricky Jackson's taking no chances. He fell on top of it.
Saints first down, their own 48-yard line. Hebert, play action, Perkins being chased. Almost intercepted. He was slipping out of the grasp of a couple of Dolphins along the way, and it's incomplete. J.B. Brown almost picked it off.
I'm becoming much more impressed with Bobby Hebert's so-called escapability. I'm sure he runs the 40 probably in a day, but right there you're right. He escapes both Cox, then here Griggs right at the end, gets the ball off, and yes, he is lucky to get the ball back, but he also saved the Saints a sack. Good job of feet movement there. J.B. Brown makes a good play getting just in front, just in time to break it up.
He was fun to talk to yesterday, wasn't he? You say hello, ask him a question, it's good for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like taking the finger out of the dike.
There's a Cajun accent that's slow tough. You will get it done. Here is Hilliard to the 50-yard line. He's got a couple. It'll be third down and 8.
Yeah, that turned out to be a monologue. It was like, Bobby, how you doing? And then we got everything ranging from the Saints offense to play action passing to the Union.
To his career,
his career.
His Cajun background and the French refugees south of here.
Michigan Panthers, cut off Louisiana. I mean, we had it all working there yesterday. Very animated. I got a charge out of him.
Third down and 8. And quite an 8, but there's cages everywhere, aren't there?
Just action.
He spotted some in Maryland. Third down and 8. Under pressure, he has to get rid of it. It is incomplete. It will be fourth down, and Barnhart comes in to kick it away. So the decimated Dolphin defense doing pretty good on this series. They've had one bad series, one big play.
Well, evidently the front four is picking up the slack. Look at the pressure that they're putting on Hebert right there. He just missed swiping that ball away. Marco Coleman is really making it a handful for Richard Cooper on that left side. He is playing an outstanding game thus far.
Donnie Barnhart will be kicking to Scott Miller. Miller kind of gives a little fair catch signal and steps away. It goes into the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. 50 yards on the kick. Saints lead at 7-0. We'll be back.
Celebrating its 10th anniversary of automobile production in the United States. By Citizen Watches. Citizen, we've got elegance. By Black & Decker, the source of powerful gift ideas. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
This is Charlie Jones, Todd Christensen at Roar Football. We're in the Superdome, New Orleans. Look at this. Almost 2-1. Miami, 41 yards total of it. New Orleans, 85. First down, 3 and 5. One big play, the 32-yard pass to Clint Early for the Saints. That's really been the difference in the ballgame. Yardage and for the score. That set up the touchdown. Here is Higgs. He pops it open. He's to the 30. Good run out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Mark Higgs. Troy Cook makes the stop, a gain of 16.
One of the advantages of being 5'7" and a quarter is you can sneak through a little hole. Take a look from the backside. Look at the size of the hole that Higgs sneaks through here. Right here, all of a sudden, that's just barely an alleyway. Good job on the left side of the offensive line. Cook having to come up and make the tackle. Another angle of that hole here. Swilling does a good job pushing upfield, but there it is. Very small. He just sneaks through there. In fact, Charlie, interesting to note that the best running backs in the league now are of the short variety. The likes of Emmitt Smith and Sherman Thomas, Barry Sanders.
Here is Page. He is dropped at the 35. He's going to lose a yard. It'll be second down and 11.
Once again, Vaughn Johnson in on the stop. Vaughn Johnson playing an outstanding game here early on. Play designed to go to the right side, but Page gets spun around here because of Frank Warren, and there's Vaughn Johnson to pick him up and nail him for a 1-yard loss. How about VJ? Like, every game is VJ Day or something?
Not bad. Not bad.
No.
It got better as it went along.
Yeah.
Second and 11. Nino throws. First down. Mark Duper pulls it in at the 50-yard line. Gain of 15 yards on the play.
At age 33, Mark Duper told me he really hasn't lost that much speed. And, of course, you've got, look at the left hand there pushing off, and he gets away with it. Jimmy Spencer has the extra step downfield that he didn't want, courtesy of Duper, but that's the veteran, knowing when to push and when not to.
And Duper, of course, a collegiate teammate of Bobby Hebert at Northwestern Louisiana. And he said, Bobby told us that Duper didn't come out for the football team until he was a junior in college. He was a track man. He said there are a lot of track men who can make more money playing football. Good advice. Reno throws, and there's a misread downfield.
In Duper's case, I don't know if it was so much a misread as the fact that maybe Marino just wanted to get rid of it. One of the few times today when the offensive line of the Dolphins has really given him a lot of time to throw, but give credit there on that situation to Jimmy Spencer. He had the coverage on Duper.
Washington with the early lead over Phoenix there in the second quarter of that ball game. Kansas City by a field goal in front of the Jets as we check out the 10-minute ticker. They go back in for the Jets. Atlanta leading New England 14-0. Tampa Bay in front of Green Bay 7-3. Here the Saints lead by a score of 7-0. Ball is loose. They're going to rule Marino down back at the 43-yard line. So it will not be a fumble. It was recovered by the Dolphins.
Well, that's Wayne Martin that comes in and makes the play. Just pushing Galbraith into the backfield. Now, he stripped that. That's a fumble. That's a fumble. Take a look. He's still standing up. Now, watch number 93 come, just pushes Galbraith back. Now, he just strips the ball completely away from him. How can that not be a fumble?
It was a fumble. And it's also third down and 17. Without the replay, life goes on. Marino throws passes, complete. It may be the first down. Clayton was reaching out for it. The ball was trying to squirt loose. And there's a scramble for it at the 41-yard line. And now it's a pushing and shoving and grabbing contest at the bottom of the pile.
Bobby Humphrey is the one that heads up, came in and got that. Unfortunately, if Clayton could have held on to the ball, he would have had the first down. The fumble pushed them back, and now they're going to be faced with 4th and 1. Marino's buying time, enables Clayton to sit in the middle of the field in the zone and make the catch. Now watch, he gets across the line for the first down, but just as he's trying to reach for it. Oh, that was ill-advised on the part of Clayton. He would have had the first down anyway. Sheila can't be too happy about that. Had Clayton not reached for it, he would have had the first down anyway because he's already across the 40-yard line.
4th down and 1. And Marino now has talked to the referee. The clock has been stopped.
The play clock is down to 2 seconds. He wants to know what the debate is here. He wants to push back up to 25. He felt that as a result of the fumble, there was too much going on, and the 45-second clock was running. I think he's got a legitimate beef. And pushing Swilling away. Boy, that's dangerous. He is focused.
Yeah. I don't think he realizes who was there. When we talked with Dan yesterday, he said, I don't know what to tell you guys. He said, you go out, you play hard, you try to win. He said, but I can tell you that every week.
Well, yeah, that's right. He told us a few things you might not have. That was funny, though. He got him. He stopped trying to get all this insider information.
Yeah.
Come on, Dan, lighten up. But he's going to win the argument, it appears.
Set the 25-second clock to 8 seconds.
Well, he bought 6 seconds.
Well, that might have been worth it. That's going to give him a chance to get in the huddle right now and make the call.
After we visited with Don Shula when we walked through the door of his suite last night, I said, you going out to dinner? And, there's so many great restaurants here. And he said, no, it's like always, like always. I said, still the butterflies? He said, oh, yes. So we'll look at the films. We have the meeting. Got to get ready. Has to have the butterflies tomorrow morning.
4th down.
And a yard.
They're going for it.
Higgs, and he stretches out. Let's see where they make the mark. Oh, this is going to be close. Sam Mills makes the tackle. Now, Mills right there at 5'9", 225. Stopping Higgs at 5'7". When we talked to Mills, he said he has his own fan club. You've got to be under 6 feet. He said, but Higgs is too short for my fan club.
Yeah, come on, Sam. This is a big play on the part of the Dolphins because, of course, you remember earlier on the 3rd down, they just got stuffed. This shows the confidence that Shula has in his offense, or maybe it's simply the fact that he wants to make a statement.
First down.
I thought this was a little bit less than a generous spot. Take a look at where Higgs ends up here. Cuts upfield. Now he's going to get tackled by Mills. Look at that right there. He's across the line. Completely across the line. And the ball they marked, you can see right there, is short of the 40-yard line. Shula takes a look. He knows it's a first down. But that spot was a little bit short of where it should have been.
First down, Miami. Saints lead it 7-0. Marino to throw. Pass is complete. Clayton is losing yards. He's back to the original line of scrimmage. He had about 8. He's going to end up with maybe 2. Swilling caught him. Ill-advised.
At age 31, you'd think Mark would know better. Not quite the same speed he had when he came into the league back in 1983 and when he spun out. Look at the Dolphins rolling out, trying to give Marino some added time. Clayton finds finds a dead spot in the zone, and right here should have been going down, but he's trying to make some things happen. Troy Cook and Swilling think otherwise.
He caught it 8 yards downfield. He picked up 3, so he lost 5 scrambling for that extra yardage. Didn't work out.
But, Charlie, how do you tell a player not to try? That's just it.
You don't. Higgs outside. He slips the tackle as the first down. He got away from Gene Atkins, and Cook finally got him. He'll pick up 12 of the first down.
Poor tackling on the part of Gene Atkins. Once again, throwing underneath, just a flat route. Atkins has to come from his free safety to make the play, and he doesn't do it. Higgs going right through the arm tackle, and the Dolphins, as a result, now inside the 30-yard line, first down.
And Mark Higgs, the man who
he started
cannot be a charter member of the Sam Mills Fan Club.
When Sammy Smith got hurt last year, remember he started the season with back-to-back 100-yard games.
Yeah.
He was on a pace to get 1,000, but when Sammy Smith got back, they interchanged him, and as a result, he didn't get the big yards, although he did get 900.
Reno with pressure. He throws. Has a man. Hits it. He's out of bounds. 6-yard line. Tony Martin. It'll be first down and goal to go. 19 yards on the play. Now Marino is starting to pick the Saints apart.
And one of the reasons, Charlie, is because they've been keeping Keith Jackson in. The offensive line, number 88, normally out in the pattern, stays back to block Pat Swilling. Now he's able once again to find a dead spot in the zone. The Saints have not been going man for man, and of course, if you're going to give Marino that much time, he can certainly pick apart a zone.
First down, goal to go, 6-yard line. Saints lead it 7-0. Here's Higgs inside, 2-yard line. Gain of 4, second down and goal to go.
Got to give the Dolphins a lot of credit for this drive. The Saints up to this point had really been manhandling them, and now the offensive line is getting a little bit more confidence. Higgs cuts back here against the grain and almost gets in. Atkins stuffs in there at the 2-yard line, but that 4th and 1 play and going for it, Shula felt like they really needed that to get some momentum going, and that has turned out to be the big play of this drive. Jim Mora, 7 years as a head coach for the Saints. He has never beaten the Miami Dolphins. That's the only team in the National Football League he hasn't beaten.
Marino, touchdown. Mark Duper. And now only the extra point separates them.
I dare say that Dan Marino might be the only quarterback that could have made this throw. It's just a dart. He just simply runs it out, and he throws it so quick that there's nothing Cook can do. The release is so quick. Marino knows it's 6, punches it, and off the field he goes.
Miami putting together an 80-yard touchdown drive against a very tough Saint defense. Stoyanovich for the tie. And the extra point is good. 80 yards, 12 plays, almost 7 minutes. We're tied at 7, back with a kickoff.
He does indeed. That's his 21st touchdown pass this season, and that was just an absolute laser. Give a chance to emphasize how quick it was here in a replay after the commercial.
Stoyanovich kicking off. Here's Vaughn Dunbar from the goal line. He's out to the 10, the 15, 20, 25. He breaks it. Flag is down. He's out to the 40-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 39, but a flag back at the 23. Stoyanovich makes the tackle. He's a little slow getting up. Oh, yeah. Oh.
It appears they caught Antonio Gibson tackling Glenn. You're right. That's not. Whew, he's thinking
That's
right
not
now.
what I do.
No.
Number 49 on the return.
Tommy Stowers is the one who got caught making the tackle. But you're right, Charlie. Flexing the arm. This is what I'm getting paid for. I'm getting paid to make those 50. Oh, Ironhead, goodness. Oh, I got to take him on too. I make 52-yard kicks at the end of games to beat the likes of Houston. I don't make big tackles.
Oh, that's smart. We'll step aside. We'll be back in a moment. We're tied at 7.
Throw is this is made within a 6-yard radius here. They're on the 2-yard line. He throws about 3 years deep. Take a look at the quickness of the release, though. This is in full speed.
Phew. Touchdown. It gets there in a hurry, doesn't it?
It does.
Saints first down. They're on 13-yard line. McAfee jumps to the outside.
I asked him once about that. In fact, I think it was at the quarterback challenge over in Hawaii. I said, are there particular drills that you have, Dan, with regards to your quick release? And he said to me, nope. He said, it's all natural.
Second down and 6. Moving on the 4-minute mark, time remaining in the first half. Hebert's taking a lot of time. First back through is Hayward. Talk about somebody that can move a pile. He'll take everybody with him. Including David Griggs of the Dolphins, who makes the tackle.
Of course, the debate with regards to Ironhead has always been his weight. You can see there by the waist that he is not slender, but the good part of it is look at the power in the legs, and as you say, moving the pile. Take a look at the back here. Look at all the white shirts going backwards. Griggs, Collier, Coleman. I guess nobody is ever exactly sure what it was that Ironhead weighs. They list him at 260, but I think his size was his big.
And when you bring it up, they say, well, we're not that concerned about it. Third down and 1. Look at the turnaround in the second quarter. As far as the Dolphins are concerned, of course, with that 80-yard touchdown drive. Ironhead moves everybody. And we have a little pushing and shoving on the field. Most of pushing and shoving was by Ironhead, though, wasn't it?
It's his own man that he moves first. Take a look at number 34. He's going to hit right into the back. Bang! All right, now you get out of the way. Oh, yeah, fat chance you're going to stop me.
Look at this.
And remember, Louis Oliver, free safety, is 6'2", 225. He's no shrinking violet. But first he bangs his own man Trapillo down, and then Oliver has to backpedal about 5 yards before he can hog tie.
That's tackling by committee. Gain of 10, first down, 33-yard line. Hebert throws over the middle, passes complete. Tight end, Hobie Brenner. And the Saints now moving on offense. They pick up 19 yards on the play, and they'll take the countdown to the 2-minute warning. Hobley with the tackle. 2 minutes left, first half. We're tied 7-7. We'll be back in a moment. The Chargers play the Raiders later on this afternoon. Now, do the Raiders consider the Charger game a big rivalry?
Well, at this point, they consider anybody a rivalry. They're 5-6. They're in a one-game situation. They have to win that one.
The Chargers, they think it's a big rivalry against the Raiders. Here's the reverse to Quinn Early. And Marco Coleman, as he sees. He's animated, isn't he?
Well, and he's playing well, too.
He is.
Heads up here. Well, of course, then Eric Martin's not exactly the man who should be taking on Marco Coleman there. Quinn Early could have made a better cut, but still give Coleman credit. He did not get fooled by the flow. He was waiting on that reverse.
3 tackles today, loss of 2, second down and 12. Tom Olivadotti also said this young man has good explosion off of the ball. Pass complete to Eric Martin. Stephen Braggs with the stop. 43-yard line. We have a timeout. That stops the clock. We are tied at 7. We'll be back in just a moment.
And if by chance you can't watch that one, then of course you want to watch the San Diego Phoenix.
Because that's where we're going to. That's where we're going to.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, though, if he doesn't do it today, next week, 99 touchdowns, he could have 100, tying Steve Largent or perhaps breaking it in that ball game. And Miami back-to-back tough ball game. Passes incomplete. Quinn Early, the intended receiver. It'll be 4th down and 5. So Miami here, and then Miami at San Francisco next Sunday is the second half of the doubleheader. Tommy Barnhart comes in to punt on 4th down and 5.
That's Don Shula telling the special teams people, be safe, be safe. Obviously, this is an ideal situation for a fake, but Shula is cognizant of that.
And the Dolphins dropping 2 return men back. Field goal attempt would be 60 yards.
but that is his longest. He has hit a 60-yarder.
But if you miss it, you're giving it up. In good field position. Through the end zone.
That was actually a good punt on the part of Barnhart. Heading into this game, he had a 39-yard net average, and he's got that look on his face. What else do I have to do?
Yeah, that's it. I did everything that I could do.
I hung that sucker up, and it bounced down. The bounce is just too high. Guys just don't have the vertical jump for it. Look at that. They're looking around wondering where the ball is. Barnhart's not too happy about that. He says, what? This is it? I hang the ball up? What? Come on, man. You got to make those plays. That's why you're getting paid.
So Miami takes over on their own 20-yard line, first down, with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to go in the first half, and the ball game tied at 7. And Marino will open up his 2-minute offense from the shotgun. Has pressure, pass is complete to Duper. He steps out at the 31-yard line. Gain of 11, first down, clock is stopped.
Veteran quarterback Toy Cook came on the corner blitz right in his face, number 41, and Marino knew right where to go. He knows he's to the outside. He knows he's got a big cushion there. Mack giving Duper way too much room there. As a result, the Dolphins have a first down. A play that only took 6 seconds.
And Miami with all 3 timeouts remaining. The Saints have 2. And here's a situation where Marino is really in charge. Scrambles, throws, passes complete. 47-yard line. And this time it is Tony Martin in the field of play. They'll take a timeout, have 2 remaining. That stops the clock with 51 seconds left. That took 9 seconds.
Now, interesting point here. The man that pushes Marino out is Ronaldo Turnbull. Look at the top of your screen, number 97. For some reason, they're giving Ricky Jackson a blow here, and they might be well advised to get him back in the game. Man-for-man coverage downfield. Push him out a little bit. Running behind him, but you got to stay with him there in that case. Jimmy Spencer loses sight of Martin as a result. Dolphins are sitting there midfield. Why Ricky Jackson isn't in that now is unexplainable to me. Leading the team with sacks at 11.5. This is the time right now where you got to put the pass rush on Marino.
He does get upset when he's taken out of the ball game too. He likes to be in there.
Well, I mean, how much more important point in the game thus far is this right here? I mean, if Marino's picking him apart here, you got to have your best pass rusher in there, and if he's not the best pass rusher behind Swilling, the second best.
Marino's object here is to get to the Saints 35-yard line. Anything else is a bonus. Four-man rush. Oh, no. Wide open. And down the sideline is Fred Banks. There's a flag down at the 39-yard line.
This could be the pick. You could see Reggie Jones screaming at the official that he got picked off, rather Vince Buck. Interesting to see if that's what the official's going to call. It is.
Offensive pass interference, number 83.
On Mark Clayton.
Mark Clayton shaking his head, but they know that they have that in the repertoire. Watch right there. Right there, he turns right into Vince Buck. That's a good call by the official, who was right on top of it. Clayton didn't argue too vociferously.
It was a classic pick. The ball goes back to the Miami 37-yard line. Don is always working the officials, isn't he?
But he really doesn't have a beef there.
Oh, no.
Clayton clearly turned his shoulder into Buck.
So it is first down and 20 back to the 37-yard line. That used to be loss of down. They've changed that rule in the last 2 years. Here's the middle screen to Humphrey. And he is out to the 47-yard line, so he's going to pick up 10 yards. It's going to be second down and 10. And Miami will stop the clock with now 35 seconds left to go in the first half. They have 1 timeout remaining. We are still tied 7-7.
36 catches heading into the game. Bobby Humphrey, the leading receiver for the Dolphins. just settling down in the middle with the middle screen, getting 10 yards back. And as you mentioned, Charlie, because they're only trying to get to the 35-yard line with Stoyanovich and being indoors, they still have a pretty good shot at it here with 35 seconds left and one timeout.
And they would like to save that last timeout to set up the field goal. You know, they can get on and kick it, but they would like to give him that extra amount of time. Of course, Stoyanovich, the hero with the field goal last week.
4 field goals in the game against the Houston Oilers, the 52-yarder at the gun to win it for them. In this situation, Charlie, interestingly enough, they had a graphic where...
He's kicking with a sore shoulder, though. Remember, he made that tackle. You got to kick hurt.
I played a game, oddly enough, ironically, Charlie, I played a game against the Dolphins where Chris Barr, our place kicker, broke his wrist on a tackle. And, of course, you don't have necessarily a second kicker on the roster, so they had to put plaster on that really quick, and he had to come back and kick with it.
Reno, the quick out to Mike. He drops the ball, falls on it. 47-yard line of New Orleans. Clock is moving.
He's screaming at the official to get the ball down.
It'll be third down and about 5. And this is caught out of bounds. It will stop the clock. 37-yard line.
Nice catch by Duper.
You're looking at 55 yards with 6 seconds left. Will they make the decision now? Can they get on one more play?
I would think here they're not going to take any chances. What a catch that was. Down by the shoe tops. Duper does a nice job getting his hands underneath.
And that is his career catch number 500 for Mark Duper.
Remember Stoyanovich, Charlie, in the playoffs against the Chiefs last year or 2 years ago, hit a 58-yarder, so this is certainly within his range.
55 yards. Play clock down to 3 at the snap. They had to hurry. It's going to come up short. And with that play, time expires. It is the end of the first half. Here's another look.
Well, they had to hurry out, and maybe the left shoulder had something to do with it. But as soon as the ball starts to spin rapidly, that means he didn't get the compression he might have if he got it just a little bit higher up on the ball. And as a result, short by about 4 yards.
It is halftime in the Superdome, tied at 7. The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report is next after these messages from the NFL and your local station. Dan Marino, who was firing at the end of the first half, will have an equal opportunity here.
Not a happy look on his face, and I'm sure a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was taken out there at the end of the game. And I would think that Ricky Jackson now is going to start this second half and be, as the phrase goes, loaded for bear. A man that doesn't get his due too often, Jim Mora. Third winningest coach since 1987. Has only had one losing season with the Saints in his 7-year tenure.
And the second half is underway. And the ball will be down by Mike Williams in the end zone. And Ricky Jackson will be back in the ball game for the New Orleans Saints. Miami will go to work. First down at their own 20-yard line.
I had a chance to talk with him by his locker yesterday, and I said, are there any concessions to being 34 years of age? And he said, no. He doesn't, you know, it's interesting that the players, as they get past 30, they don't want to hear that. The word that's almost anathema to them is the word old. I don't want to hear old. I don't want to hear experience.
I know Sam Mills wasn't bad. He said, I'm 34, I'm old, short, and blind.
Other than that, I've been in the Pro Bowl 3 times.
That's right.
He's got to be doing something right.
And Jim Mora, his head coach, said he should have been in the Pro Bowl 6 times. Play action fake, pass sideline, and it is caught. First down. Mark Duper has it. 32-yard line.
Duper is known more for his speed than great hands, but that's the second great catch that he has made. This is actually misdirection designed to go to Tony Page underneath, but he turns Toy Cook around thinking he's going to go up. Watch, the hands are reaching out. Great catch by Duper, 5th of the day. Somebody in Marino's face, but he's able to get it out there. Duper, excellent catch.
And Marino opens up with a first down on the first play of the second half. Ball game tied, 7-7, 32-yard line. Here is Higgs. He's running high. when he is hit at the 32, he kind of drops low, goes to the 34, so he's got a couple of yards on the play. Pat Swilling makes the tackle. It'll be second down at 8.
Of course, at 5'7", you never really start that high.
Well, he does. He thinks so. I mean, he's at the top of the numbers.
Weren't you the one talking with him one time when he made it a point to say it's 5'7" and a quarter?
And a quarter.
Don't forget that quarter.
You're absolutely right. He always said, don't forget the quarter.
Just to go, the judging talent in the NFL is not an exact science. This is his third team. He was there with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the Saints, or rather now the Dolphins, and he finds himself a starter.
And here he is, slipping and sliding, and he goes to just across the 35. We'll mark it to 36, give him 2. It'll be third down and 6. Sam Mills with the tackle.
Well, that was the collision of the Mighty Mites. The only guy on the field that could have got underneath Mark Hicks was that man, Sam Mills. I asked him where he got the nickname that he has, which is so popular. He's known as the Field Mouse.
Oh, he doesn't like that one.
He doesn't like that one at all.
No, he doesn't like that one.
He said that it was somebody in the department of the Philadelphia Stars gave him that nickname. But he is all over that field at 5'9", 223. It's amazing the things that he can do as an inside backer.
From the shotgun, 5-man rush, incomplete at the 45-yard line. We'll go back and take another look.
Well, right after we talk about Duper's great hands, and he gets one between the 8 and the 5, and he can't hold on. Great throw, good coverage, but give number 37, in
Jimmy
that case,
Spencer.
Jimmy Spencer, credit for getting the left arm in there and stripping the ball. Still, I'm sure Duper would tell you he should have hung on to that one.
Good strip, though. Reggie Roby will be kicking. Patrick Newman is the return man. And he drives this one. This one out kicks the coverage zone. Take it at the 15. Good back-to-back moves. The ball is stripped. It is loose. Miami may have it. They say they do. They do.
Watch the way Patrick Newman is carrying the ball after the 360 move. Look at that right there. Now watch what he does. Watch what he does with the ball. Right there, he's got it in the one hand, a la Walter Payton. That was a bad decision. Greg Beatty, the man who snapped the ball, is the one on the coverage. Right there, and there's the strip by Kerry Glenn, reserve cornerback. Big play for the Dolphins after going 3 and out. Now they set up shop on the Saints 32 when we come back.
Clothes for the best of your life. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. And by Hertz #1 Club Gold, Hertz's fastest service, now in more locations coast to coast.
With the turnover, that is the first turnover that the Saints have had in the last 2+ ball games. More than 2.5 without a turnover. They gave this one up. Miami at the 31-yard line of the Saints. And Higgs will pick up a yard. Let's go back to the fumble.
Take a look at how number 86 is carrying the ball. Patrick Newman makes the catch. Now watch with the right hand. Starting to style a little bit. A little bit of the 360, kind of full of himself. And Kerry Glenn comes in, makes a big strip right there. Hits him on the bicep. The ball's not being held on tight. And Greg Beatty, the man who snapped the ball, hustles downfield, reserve tight end behind Keith Jackson, gets the recovery.
Ball game tied, 7-7. 12 minutes left to go. We're in the third quarter.
Patrick Newman now, Charlie, as you pointed out, 3 big plays that he's had, and 2 of them weren't good.
Richmond Webb is limped off of the field for the Dolphins. It is second down and 9. He can throw it again. And it is incomplete. Keith Jackson.
He had him deep, and he threw it a little bit behind. Misdirection, you're right. Dan Marino throws it behind. This is a legal play. Tony Martin, he hits him on the chest.
Right there.
He's got to catch that ball. Keith Jackson, we haven't heard from, kind of fakes a little bit, loafs downfield with Mills. Now he cuts to the corner, wide open. Hits him on the right shoulder pad. Keith Jackson has not had a catch yet today.
2 things. He was open deep, but he had to hold on to it either way. That was a touchdown. Marino is changing the play visually. And he throws in. The coverage is dropped. Pitts almost picked it off. Oh, it was there. 6 points waiting. Ooh.
That's 2 back-to-back 6-point plays that went another direction. Marino looks left, looks them up. It doesn't fool Atkins, who cuts in front. Right there, you're absolutely right, Charlie. There was nothing but AstroTurf in front of him. And he has a reason to be upset. Oh, man. What could have been.
"47-yard field attempt by Stoyanovich. They'll move it back to 48. He's going to be right on the mark. And does it stay? Yes, it does. Just inside the upright. Miami leads with the field goal by 3, 10-7. 2 of 115, and look how close this one was. Oh, yeah.
That mark that you saw there, 92 out of 115 for 80%. He needs 8 more kicks to qualify, but if he can keep that 80%, he would be the best, most accurate kicker in the history of the NFL.
Von Dunbar to the 15, out to the 20, to the 23-yard line. Mike Williams with the staff. No report yet on Richmond Webb, but he did have his right ankle retaped.
Take a look at the heavy tape there on the right foot. You can see that is really heavy tape.
They'll mark it at the 24-yard line. First down, Saints. They trail for the first time in the ball game. Miami up by 3. 10-7. With 11:22 left to go. We're in the third quarter. Hebert has thrown for 103 yards. Play action fake. Goes over the middle, 32-yard line. He goes to Eric Martin. And now we have tippers flaring just a bit.
Some of the Saints took umbrage to the necktie tackle of Troy Vincent, but there was nothing illegal about it. He just caught him by the head and brought him down. No face mask here. Hook pattern in the middle of the field. Troy Vincent, first-round pick for the Dolphins, has been picked on from time to time. Martin with the catch turns upfield. There it comes right there. That's the shoulder pad he has, not the face mask.
Troy told us his mother Alma would be watching. Wanted to be sure that we said hello to her. He's very quiet, well-mannered, soft-spoken. Says I don't mouth off. Mother wouldn't like it. I do it all between the whistles. And he does it well. Hayward, the ball carrier. Report on Richmond Webb. This was a retape job on the ankle, and he will be back.
Certainly good news for the Dolphins. You don't want to have a reserve tackle blocking over Pat Swilling for any length of time. Now with Anthony Munoz injured and out, possibly as a career-ending injury, many feel that man number 78, Richmond Webb, is the best tackle in the National Football League. In talking to him about that, he said, that's all well and good, but I can't afford the luxury of taking it too seriously.
Saints pick up a first down at their own 34-yard line. Throwing on first down. This one is dropped off to Hayward. That's that check down play that they like so well.
Dwight Hollier, the rookie inside backer, forced into action because the injuries to the other inside backers, Offerdahl and Sander, gets a welcome to the NFL. Watch number 50 take the forearm from Ironhead Hayward after the catch. Ironhead makes the catch and says, hello, rookie, welcome. Pow! Ooh, take that.
And that. I say, you got to have a committee to bring him down. There's no question about it.
In defense of Dwight Hollier, he is the leading special teams tackler for the Dolphins, and definitely in unfamiliar territory. But first guy I wouldn't want to tackle is a 270-pound fullback.
And here is the draw with McAfee to the 50. 42-yard line of Miami. J.B. Brown makes the tackle. 19 yards on the play.
Jim Moore the last couple of weeks has said we got to get the ball in the hands of Fred McAfee because he can make some things happen. Good cutback against the grain. Takes on Oliver downfield with a little bit of power. Good job by the right side of the offensive line of the Saints, enable him to make that cutback.
The Saints now generating their best offense since the first quarter. 42-yard line of Miami, first down. Hebert, a little swing right side to Hilliard, and he is stood up at the 40-yard line. Jarvis Williams was there.
That's a good open field tackle by Jarvis Williams. He paid the price for it. He's still down. Holding on to that wrist. Middle of the field, Dalton Hilliard with the great feet in the open field. He's tough because of being short and having played the field a number of times. But look at number 26. Bounces back, but Jarvis Williams doesn't buy it. Night Train Lane used to say, you look at the belt buckle because that can't go anywhere. The feet can and the knees and everything else, but the belt buckle can't go anywhere. And that's what Williams did right there. Focus on his midsection.
Second down. Here's McAfee. 38-yard line.
And that was Dwight Hollier with a little comeuppance there, making the penetration and getting McAfee in his tracks for only a minimal gain. Rookie from North Carolina doing a little damage. Watch on the right of your screen. Here comes number 50 making a play, getting right past Cooper, who was supposed to have him on the block, as there's only a 1-yard gain, and now they're up 3rd and 6.
38-yard line of the Dolphins. Miami leads at 10-7. 6:54 and counting, time remaining. We're in the third quarter. Hebert from the shotgun. First down. He goes right to Wesley Carroll. And he drilled him.
Wesley Carroll with a simple turn-in, University of Miami grad, who really been somewhat of a doghouse. He's their 4th receiver, but right there, fortunate because Kerry Glenn stumbled a little bit. If Kerry Glenn could have got up, maybe he could have prevented the first down, but Carroll able to get it.
The ball at the 27-yard line of Miami. Hebert's told us that we played these guys in preseason, but then you got different players in there now. It'll be an entirely different look, and it is. First down, 27-yard line. Hebert to the 20, and he lowers his head at the 15. He picks up the first down to the 12-yard line, maybe the 13. Hollier and Brown finally get it. He was not gliding. He was going for it.
Hebert has what you call football speed. As we mentioned before, he's no younger Cunningham, but watch when he pulls the ball down. You see Coleman in pursuit, and Coleman's a pretty fast guy, but he makes no ground up on Hebert at all. And as you mentioned, Charlie, lowers his shoulder, and he doesn't slide. Now watch. Here's Coleman in full speed. He's got him in his sights, but he never makes any ground up on him at all. Hebert's showing a lot of resiliency there, bouncing up. Again, Charlie, I can't emphasize enough. Very underrated quarterback.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get his due.
He scampers for 14, comes with a play action, rolls right. He's going to keep again, and he'll go to the 8-yard line. Clifford Hobley with the tackle. Now, Hebert has the Saints moving, but this is one of the things that Marino told us about. You can't do this as a quarterback. This is how you get hurt.
Yeah, but then again, Charlie, that's all well and good, but when the adrenaline's pumping, that's not what you're thinking about. You're down 10-7. You want to get in the end zone, and now shades of Jack Mildren trying to cut a field, turning himself into a running quarterback.
Second down and 5. The ball at the 8-yard line. Saints trailing by 3. Dolphins lead at 10-7. Hilliard, the remaining back. Hebert throws, knocked away. J.B. Brown had the defensive coverage.
And I think that Hebert was a little bit tired from the last 2 runs, because that ball was completely behind him. You see him wiping the sweat from his brow. Take a look at the slant route right here. It's completely behind. There's just no way he can come up with that ball. And good coverage on the part of Brown.
Troy Small, the rookie taken in the 5th round from Alcorn State, the intended receiver. Will be 3rd down and 5. The ball still at the Miami 8-yard line. Of course, way inside of the kicking range of Morton Anderson. He's hit from 52, one of the greatest kickers in the history of the NFL. They figure they have a cinch on their tie. He'll throw to the end zone here. It is too high. It is incomplete. Martin was open for a moment, but the pass was way overthrown. Brown had the coverage, and Anderson will come in.
Eric Martin, number 84, the go-to guy for the Saints, trying to get lost in the garbage, and that's exactly what he did. But Hebert didn't see it soon enough, and once again, a very poor throw. Back-to-back bad throws on the part of number 3.
26-yard field goal attempt by Morton Anderson. This is for the tie. He hits from 26. We are now tied at 10. We'll be back with a kickoff. We are tied here at 10 as Anderson kicks off. And it will go through the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. We'll step aside. The score, Miami 10, New Orleans 10.
Football kickers in the National Football League right here. Morton Anderson, you see, third on the all-time list. The diamond by Pete Stoyanovich is because he needs 100 makes to qualify in that group. But this is certainly the elite amongst place kickers in this league today. And, of course, the way the game is going, 10-10 tied here with less than 4 minutes left in the third quarter, my guess is it is going to come down to one of those gentlemen to decide the outcome of this game.
Miami from their own 20-yard line flags it down, whistle sound. Three minutes and 57 seconds. That is the time remaining in the third quarter.
Ball start. Number 65. Prior to the snap.
Now for an update, let's go to New York and Bob Costas.
With the timer.
Charlie, the setup, Dave Craig, 55 yards to Willie Davis. The payoff off the play-action fake, Keith Cash on the 2-yarder for the TD. Kansas City trying to win their 4th in a row, trying to take their record to 8-4, extending their lead over the Jets. Third quarter at the Meadowlands, 13-0. Back to the Superdome.
Bob, a little closer here. We're tied at 10. 3:59 left to go in the third. For Miami, it will be first down and 15 from their own 15-yard line. Jeff Dellenbach with a false start. And the crowd very knowledgeable of when to cheer in the ballgame. And this one is complete. It'll be about a yard shy of the first down. That Tony Martin, I believe, is that who got it, or was it Freddie Bush? Or is Mark Duper? Well, you can run down the whole list.
But the 6th catch for Duper. There's Richmond Webb keeping Swilling out. Zone coverage back there. Marino plenty of time. Zips it right in between the St. Jerseys to Duper for the 14-yard gain.
And the ball just shy of the 30-yard line. It's going to be second down, about half a yard to go for the first down. And here is Higgs. He's got the first down. He picks up 4 to the 34. As we check out the 10-minute ticker, Cleveland in front of Chicago there in the third quarter in that ball game.
Charlie, in that Pittsburgh game, Barry Foster surpassed Franco Harris as the all-time leading rusher in a single season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's just having a fabulous year.
Washington comfortably in front of Phoenix. They'll be hosting San Diego next week. We'll be there. Kansas City shutting out the Jets. Bob gave you the update just a moment ago. Atlanta in front of New England as expected. Pressure on the backside. Ball is loose.
To this point,
the man who calls himself Pig scores a touchdown.
But the man that made the play was Pat Swilling. Up to this point, Richmond Webb had been doing a pretty good job on him, but Swilling got off the mark well, comes around the back, and strips the arm of Marino. Take a look. It's that angle. He gets past Webb right there. The arm's not going forward. Good call by Pat Haggerty. And the Pig, Robert Goff, catches it in stride. Touchdown for the Saints defense.
28 yards on the touchdown return. The extra point is good. The Saints lead it 17-10. I don't understand it. He likes the nickname Pig.
Drop back to here, and the idea is to cut him off, but instead of cutting him off at the angle here, pushing him out, Swilling, because he got off the ball so quick, is going to get right there and get right in Marino's backside. Webb not able to cut off the angle, and as a result, Swilling strips the ball, and the Pig, the Pig.
I know.
Who wants that as a nickname?
I know, he does. He does.
And a man who is hard to console here, Richmond Webb. The ankle bothered him a little bit, but I'm sure that he wouldn't say that was an excuse. Pat Swilling with his 10th sack of the season.
And the kickoff into the end zone will bring it out to the 20-yard line.
Dan Marino here. This is a class act right here. Pat him on the butt and said, okay, come on, we'll just get him next time. You see a lot of times you'll see quarterbacks scream at their offensive lineman, but it's very important when you pull them aside privately to say, all right, that's okay, because this is, after all, the guy that's protecting Marino's backside.
The Saints leading the Dolphins now 17-10, and the defense shall lead them, and it does.
Well, of course, what that play does, Charlie, is it gets the crowd back into the game. A crowd that throughout the second quarter, the beginning of third, was pretty much non-existent.
Reno wanted to set a screen. He's throwing this one away. Clayton was in the area, but he was running out of time. It'll be second down and 10 at the 20-yard line. The screen was simply not there.
Pat Swilling is really causing some problems for Richmond Webb. Now watch with the spin move. He comes back to the inside, gets some help from the inside, but he still pressures Marino to the outside into a bad throw. These are the players now. These are the men on defense that make a difference, and I don't think there's any irony to the fact that he wears number 56. He is an LT clone. Number 57, Ricky Jackson. Haven't heard as much from him today, but Pat Swilling is really putting on a show, and you got to know that Marino's worried.
Marino scrambles, throws back, and is behind Mark Clayton. It is incomplete. Marino had some open room to run, but going back to our conversation of yesterday, he doesn't like to run with the ball. He likes to throw it. That's what he does, and does so well.
Does a good job of escaping, but take a look at Richmond Webb now. Watch to the left of your screen. Watch Richmond Webb just in a bear hug. Just absolutely hang on to Pat Swilling. He got away with that one. Here comes Keith Jackson. Same thing. Look at that. Grabbing a hold of the face mask of Ricky Jackson. Really struggling with the outside backers at this point.
Third down. A corner blitz was coming. Marino had to get rid of it. The pass is complete. It will come up a yard shy of the first down. He goes to Banks. The Saints normally don't what they call blitz. That is bring 6 or more. They'll bring the 4 down and a linebacker, but that's about it most of the time.
But with Vince Buck coming from the left of your screen, Marino has to throw what you call blitz control, which is the short pass to Banks, and he does a good job with what he has to work with. But the result is a short pass, and they don't get the first down.
Reggie Roby to kick. It is 4th down and 1. Patrick Newman has made a couple of mistakes in the ballgame for the Saints. 27-yard line. He's to the 30. Needs a block. Gives ground, and he's going to lose some yardage on the return. But a very smart play by one of the Saints who had a block set up, but it would have been a block in the back. It would have cost him a flag.
But you know what, Charlie? In this situation, you're up by a touchdown. Patrick Newman should take the ball and get upfield.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
He's got to be driving his coach crazy with what he's doing out there, weaving in and out.
44 yards on the punt. He lost a yard on the return. And don't forget, next Saturday on NBC Sports World, a special day of beauty and elegance. The World Professional Figure Skating Championship, Debbie Thomas, Rosalind Summers, and the crowd-pleasing American pair of Kitty and Peter Crothers. That's next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time here on NBC. The Saints have the ball. They have the lead with 1:19 left in the third. They're on top by 7, 17-10. Hebert throws back to the other side, and he misses Hayward too high. Hayward at 5'11", 260-plus pounds, is the tallest running back that the Saints have.
Isn't that interesting?
That really is.
Yeah. Well, it just reinforces...
So you throw the backs, you got to throw a little lower.
Well, yeah, you're right. But that reinforces the point that we made earlier now that the best backs, the elites, are all of the shorter variety, all under 6 feet tall.
And a quarterback comparison. Reno 20 of 28, 188. Hebert 10 of 18, 130. 29-yard line. He has 3, so it'll be 3rd down and 7.
The one thing about those numbers that is deceptive is the fact, Charlie, that it doesn't take into account some of those 3rd down runs that Hebert has had and some of the clutch things that he has done on certain situations. Double teaming here on Marco Coleman, both Cooper and Ironhead pushing him out, but he's still able to get in on the tackle of McAfee. Marco Coleman, originally drafted as an outside linebacker, has obviously found himself a home at defensive end.
3rd down and 7, Hebert from the shotgun. 4-man rush. Here comes a delayed blitz. He goes up top. It's incomplete. He was trying to get to Wesley Carroll. They'll bring it back. It'll be 4th down, and the kicking team will come in. J.B. Brown has the cover.
Fans going for a little interference, but once again, incidental contract. Wesley Carroll cuts to the outside. J.B. Brown right with him. That's just the usual hand fighting. Good non-call by the official.
He got a little hammer move on the shoulder pad, didn't he? Boom.
It's all part of it, babe.
Oh, yeah. Tommy Barnhart will be kicking. Scott Miller is the return man. 8 seconds on the play clock. High snap. It would have been blocked. He had to pull it down. Miami will take over on downs in excellent field position.
One of the things that happened there, Charlie, in the middle of the field is that Troy Cook kept switching from fullback side to fullback side. And what they were doing is the Dolphins overloaded this one side. Watch in the middle of your screen. There's nobody there to block Benny Parmalee. You're absolutely right, Charlie. He certainly would have blocked that one. Barnhart pulls the ball down, and Harden able to come up with it with the tackle. Take a look at number 30, Parmalee. There's just absolutely nobody there. He certainly would have blocked that ball, and Bobby Harden with the stick. Now the Dolphins in excellent field position at the 23.
Finally, the rookie free agent from Ball State makes the play for Miami. And here is Higgs on the counter as he comes back to the near side to the 16-yard line.
The special teams for the Saints just have not been doing their offense or defense any favors. Higgs here on the counter, as you mentioned, takes the blow upfield, but then the other man comes behind him and makes the stick.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Saints lead by 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
To make a decision with regards to these 2 guys as to where he's going to go. And they're not stupid. They're going to move around in confusion. Now what happens? This man's going to go here. This man's going to go here. And it's going to be the Red Sea opening up for Benny Parmalee to get right in the face of Barnhart.
2nd down and 2, 16-yard line of the Saints. And Higgs just lost his footing when he was cutting to the outside. That's one of the things that can happen to you on that artificial surface. It really grabs it. You know, you're wearing like a tennis shoe bottom, but it just grabs at you and holds you.
Well, that was certainly a costly point there because there was bad run support on the part of the Saints, and he would have got the 1st down. Now, instead of a 1st down, they come up with 3rd and 2.5.
In 4-down territory?
No. Nope. Not with 14:30 and running. They kick the field goal here if they don't get the 1st.
3rd down and 2. Higgs and Page are the setback. Reno throws, and it is incomplete. I tell you, the linebackers, they're getting a rolling start. Oh, are they coming in a hurry? The Saints linebackers dominating the ball game. Whew. to take one particular group of players.
Charlie, they're so dominating. And look at number 88, Keith Jackson. He has been relegated to the role of blocker. They're now double-teaming both outside backers. And what that does, of course, is it takes away arguably their best underneath receiver because Keith Jackson has had to stay in. He has yet to have a catch in this game.
33-yard field goal attempt by Stoyanovich to cut the margin to 4. It is good. He has now hit 2 out of 3. And the Saints lead by 4, 17-13.
If you think these guys are tough on Braun, makers of Flex Control, the world's first electric shaver with a pivoting head. By the Business Services Division of MCI. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get, guaranteed at McDonald's today.
14 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the ball game. The Saints leading the Dolphins by 4, 17-13. This is Charlie Jones inside. Christensen as Stoyanovich kicks off. Dunbar on the return, and he is hit at the 14-yard line. They'll mark it down at the 15-yard line, and the Saints will move on offense, needing to run some time off of the clock. While we were away, we videotaped this conversation.
Keith Jackson isn't too happy to just be a blocker, I think. I mean, third down, if you're a tight end of his caliber, a guy who's making clutch catches, you have to think that on 3rd and 2, hey, come on, let me get out and let me do something. Instead, he's relegated to the role of being extra tackle, but the way the outside backers of the Saints have been coming, they have to do it.
Oh, you have to. And if there's somebody else who would put him over there to help, too, the way that the outside linebackers are coming for the Saints. Now let's see what Bobby Ager can do. He's got to work the clock. He's got to keep the ball. Pick up a little yardage. Fred McAfee. And he is stopped by David Griggs. We'll check out the 10-minute ticker for you. Pittsburgh comfortably in front of Cincinnati.
We mentioned the fact that Dwight Hollier here, the rookie, has been pressed into action as a result of the injuries to both Sander and Offerdahl. Does a good job skating to the outside, meeting McAfee head-on. For a rookie, particularly in the second half, he's really picked up the pace and been in on a number of tackles.
Washington big over Phoenix.
There's John Offerdahl there with the clipboard.
Kansas City shutting out the Jets.
That's no fun, man. You got that clipboard.
McAfee, now he goes out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock. The good news is for the Saints, he picks up the first down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 10 yards on the play, 13:03 left to go in the ball game. This man told us, Jim Moore, the head coach of the Saints, he said, we don't want to put Marino in the position where he is working the clock and controlling the clock on us. We want to do it to him, and he is now in that position with the lead.
Then again, though, their running game has not, McAfee had busted one for about 20 yards earlier in the game, but their running game really up to this point has not been that formidable. The Dolphins can certainly stop it.
The first back to it is Ironhead. Oh, is he alone?
Is this frightening if you're a free safety? Look at what's coming. Oh, no, no, no! You notice that Louis Oliver didn't stick out any hands. He wanted no part of that. Please trip over my head and shoulders.
A gain of 15, first down. Kind of peered in on us yesterday. We mentioned something about his weight. He came right on moving. 43-yard line, Saints in their own territory. Good defensive play. Jarvis Williams.
Up in the strong safety position, not accounted for in an 8-man front. Jarvis Williams just comes in completely unimpeded. Watch the top of your screen. He comes in with a strong safety blitz. That's Quinn Early who comes down, but that's just too late. Williams right in the face of McAfee. 5-yard loss.
Second down and 15. Hebert looking to the sideline. All of the plays signaled in, of course, for the Saints. He would really like to run his own offense, including the two-minute offense. He's a throwback quarterback. He thinks the quarterback should be in control. This is a screen. The pass is completed. A screen to Hilliard. He's going to pick up about 5. It'll be 3rd down, and Tim Klingbeil with the tackle.
And a heads-up play on the part of Chuck Klingbeil to get outside. They had that set up fairly well. But his pursuit from the inside, from the nose tackle position, enabled him to hold it to only a 5-yard gain, and now the Saints are going to come up 3rd and long.
3rd down and 10.
Yeah, you're right. It's interesting, Charlie, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact, too, that now that he's been in the league a while, he doesn't feel the necessity to have to kowtow to everything that the coaches say. He was somebody that's very assertive, and he said that, the maintaining of power is definitely an issue.
Here's a Utah shovel pass underneath. It'll be an incomplete pass. Second time the Saints have run it. The Dolphins have run it once. It's never an incomplete pass.
Well, even though the Saints didn't accomplish what they wanted in terms of taking a lot of time off the clock, they only took off about 3.5 minutes. Here it is once again, the underneath pass. In the past, referees who were not familiar with that would address that as a fumble, and you can see that some of the players... Wait a minute.
Well, the ball's around it, you go for it.
That was Stan Brock, been in the league 13 years. You knew that was a pass, Stan. Come on.
He was in the huddle. He should have known.
Exactly.
He's playing an outstanding ball game with a dislocated big right toe as a special shoe. Here's the kick. Miller, fair catch, 17-yard line. 10 minutes, 5 seconds left to go in the game. Miami has the ball. They trail by 4. Back in a moment. NFL doubleheader next week on NBC. A look at the game. The big one, of course, the second half of the doubleheader, Miami and San Francisco. And here, Miami with the ball, trailing by 4, 17-13 to the Saints. Just over 10 minutes to go. Marino sets, has protection, throws. It's intercepted.
One of the few bad passes that Dan Marino has thrown all day, just completely over the arms of the defender. You saw an interesting reaction that he had there. The jump and not much of an effort on the part of Duper to make the catch. At least he could have touched it. Watch Duper at the end of this. He doesn't even reach for the ball necessarily. And as a result, Vince Buck has it. It's just a walk into the end zone. Great job. A phalanx of blockers for the Saints, just pushing people out of the way, enabling Buck to get in for the touchdown.
And Buck put a move on Tony Page. 34 yards on the interception return. And the extra point is good. And suddenly the Saints are in control. 24-13. Back to the kickoff.
Major reasons for the interception is Mark Duper, for inexplicable reason, does not jump for the ball. It's a little high, but he doesn't reach his hands up, and as a result, Buck just has it without any problem, and Dan Marino seeks him out on the sideline and says, "Yo, partner, come on, you got to go after that." You see the reaction there, not too pleased, going nose to nose with him, saying, "Listen, you got to make at least an effort for the ball."
And for Vince Buck, that is his first NFL touchdown. Marino will get another chance right after the kickoff. Is finally on the return. Little head fake near the 29-yard line. Cedric Mack was there for New Orleans. 19 yards on the return. The margin is 9 points. Saints 24, Dolphins 13. 9:44 left in the ball game.
As we mentioned earlier, Charlie, making the parallel to the late 50s, early 60s Giants defense. Look at that. They've outscored their offense today by 4 points.
Let me do my math again. It's 11 points is the differential. 13-24.
No. Charlie, I was talking about the defense.
I know you
in the offense.
I know you were.
All right.
But I was just making a correction of my mistake. The pass is complete to Clayton. And let's see, they're marking around the 34-yard line. So it'll be second down and 5.
Safe pass. Just finding a little seam in the zone, settling down, making the catch. Of course, the Saints will give those up all day if it means taking time off the clock.
Marino over the middle to Bobby Humphrey. And he's got the first down. 8 yards to the 42-yard line.
Well, it's all well and good that New Orleans gets caught up in the revelry of, hey, we're up by 11 points and everything's great. Don't forget, there's 8 minutes and 50 and counting. And if they continue to give up first downs, that's plenty of time for Marino to get 2 touchdowns, especially now that he's going with the no-huddle offense.
Marino drills this one. It is incomplete at the 36-yard line. It was Clayton. He couldn't hang on to it. It'll be second down and 10.
Would have been a tough catch for Clayton in the seam. Marino steps up to avoid the rush. Right in the seam, take a look at 83. The ball's thrown a little bit low. That would have been a tough catch.
So bring it back to the 42-yard line. It is second down and 10. 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in the ballgame. Saints 24, Dolphins 13.
Now finally Keith Jackson gets a chance to go out and maybe catch some passes. There is number 88 standing on the pass mark there at the 81-yard line. He's been non-existent as a pass catch up to this point.
And Humphrey gets it on the draw, 47-yard line of the Saints. First down, Sam Mills with the tackle. He picked up 11 yards, and they continue now with the no-huddle except for an incomplete pass. So in their hurry-up mode, 2-minute offense. First down, Saints 47. Marino scrambles out, and the pass is incomplete. Is he going to rule him down?
Oh, boy. Marino doesn't like that one.
Wayne Martin had him.
Those of you that have been following the telecast throughout this game will recall earlier in the game, Hebert was in a similar situation. The argument that Haggerty is going to have here is his knee down. Looked to me like he was able to get it off just before. Is the knee down? Take a look.
Down.
Simultaneous. Very close call. But as a result, Wayne Martin gets his 10th sack of the season.
And close calls go to the referee. 48-yard line. Second and 15. Pass is complete, far side to Banks. He'll go out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. 42-yard line of the Saints. Now with 7:38 left to play.
Interesting substitution they have here now. Pat Swilling is coming out of the game, and Ronaldo Turnbull is in along with Ricky Jackson. So what they're doing here is they realize that every down is going to be a throwing down. They want to rest up their big studs down the stretch.
And, of course, outside of the 5-minute mark, once players come back on the field, they rewind the clock, and it continues.
And Ronaldo Turnbull, number 97, is a former first-round pick from West Virginia, so it's not as if they're being hurt here.
Corner blitz was coming, and it is incomplete. Vince Buck was coming on the blitz, and Marino had to get rid of it.
And his complaint to Duper, once again, is the fact that he's supposed to have blitz coverage. Duper looks over the sidelines, and he's screaming at the coaches. He's supposed to go with a slant there and not run the regular route, and that's what he's complaining about the bank. He didn't see Buck coming, and as a result, that's the incompletion.
Fourth down and 5, trailing by 11. Shula goes for it. 7:10 left of the game. The crowd wants to take it audible away from the Dolphins. Here comes the corner blitz. Incomplete. Did you see the look on Marino's face? Who was that man? He looked around, and it was the corner blitz. It was Vince Buck.
Here it comes from the right of your screen once again. Vince Buck catches him from the backside. Man-for-man coverage, and that's a nice job there on the part of Jimmy Spencer. He knew right here he just wants to wave his arms around. He doesn't need an interception. It's 4th down. Spencer's been picked on from time to time today, but he has come through with flying colors. And that man has been having a great day in terms of not just the interception, but the corner blitzes that have put the pressure on Marino.
Saints take over on down. First down, they're on 42-yard line, leading 24-13. 7:04 left in the game. Hayward gets the call. Collier with the tackle. The clock moves. Jim Mora told us that one of the problems that the Saints have been having is they have not been able to run the ball in the 4th quarter. They had that problem against San Francisco. The 49ers came back to beat them right at the gun. And now they need to run the ball. They've got to take some time off of the clock. You cannot give Marino too many opportunities. Second and 7. Yard line of Miami.
Little change of pace when you go from Craig Hayward, the big bruiser inside, to Fred McAfee with a quick outside feed. Look at a little stutter move there, bounces to the outside. Sure, the Saints would have liked to have him stay in bounds, but give him credit, he does get the first. Hobie Brenner, nice job of blocking here on Marco Coleman. He gets a stalemate, pushes him upfield, and that enables McAfee to cut to the outside. Brenner has done an outstanding job today.
And again, the clock outside of the 5-minute mark. Once that they have the timeout, everybody resets and they wind the clock again, and it's on the move. First down, Miami 46. And the first back through is Ironhead. He has 5 yards to the 41. It'll be second down and 5.
Hayward has really done a nice job running the ball today. As we mentioned at the outset, we felt like that he was somebody who really could have been a force running the ball, but up to this point, only 200 yards coming into this game, primarily a blocker, but he's been especially effective today inside the tackle. And this is another thing that Hebert has been doing very well, Charlie. I've noticed on the last 3 plays, every time he's able to snap the ball right when it gets down to the 2 or the 1.
Ironhead again moving the pile. That was second down and 5. And he's going to pick up a couple of yards to the 39-yard line.
One of the issues when we talked with Jim Mora yesterday, and you could actually see the cringe on his face when I brought it up, was the idea of the next level. As we mentioned, 6 out of the 7 seasons that he's coached the Saints, they've had a winning record. And, of course, they've been to the playoffs now the last couple of years, but have yet to win a playoff game. He absolutely hates that term, next level. He says, let's just play the games and see what happens.
Hayward has rushed for 46 yards. McAfee has rushed for 43. It is dropped right in the hands of Terrence Small, and that stops the clock. That was third down and 3. 3:55 left in the game.
I don't know if you called that a rookie mistake, but that was easy money. Steps back, Small right there in the middle of the field. Easy catch. He just doesn't make it. When you say, catch the ball, that's what he says.
Yeah. Then he puts his head down and says something else. It'll be 4th down and 3. Barnhart will be kicking. Miami trailing by 11. He hangs this one up. And he goes through the end zone for the touchback. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Tonight, an evening packed with action and suspense, starting with Secret Service. A mob informant's murder is staged to nail a high-profile gangster, followed by eyewitness video, where you'll see incredible footage of one woman's survival from the jaws of a whale, plus the powerful world premiere movie from the files of Joseph Wambaugh, Jury of One. That's all tonight here on NBC. 39 yards on the kick. The ball out at the 20-yard line. 3 minutes and 46 seconds. The time remaining for the Dolphins. Now, 22 times in his career, Dan Marino has come from behind with the Miami Dolphins to win a ball game. I guess the record belongs to John Elway of Denver. He's done it 31 times. He needs 2 touchdowns. As pressure drops this one off to Humphrey, and he is out to the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Swilling with the tackle. 7 in the secondary for the Saints.
This has got to be tough on Marino at this point, knowing that they're just pinning their ears back and coming. The Saints heading into this day, and they certainly haven't hurt that with the 4 sacks today, leading the NFL in sacks.
Far side, Duper incomplete. 3rd down and 6.
Duper's concentration seems to be lost after that last play where he didn't jump, and also the play that he had before where he didn't have the blitz coverage correct. That becomes a little bit frustrating to both receiver and quarterback. But give credit to Steve Sidwell and his game plan as defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. He did some things that he ordinarily hasn't done coming into this game, knowing that if he stood pat, Marino would pick them apart.
Kickoff with a fumble recovery for the touchdown. Vince Buck with the interception for the touchdown. The defense leads them once again. 3rd down and 6, far side, almost intercepted. Oh, Toy Cook. It would have been an early Christmas for the toy man.
Those tackified gloves. Clayton cuts to the outside. He anticipates it perfectly. It sticks. Oh, at the last minute it doesn't stick. Would have had a walk into the end zone, and that would have been the 3rd touchdown for the defense.
4th down and 6, and of course they go for it now with 3:13 remaining. The ball at their own 24-yard line. The Saints chasing the 49ers in their division with an 8-3 record. The Dolphins with 8-3. They're chasing Buffalo. He fires. 1st down and more. Fred Banks. 47-yard line of the Saints. The Dolphins are still alive.
And what a throw by Marino. People right in his face. Put that right on the line in the seam to Freddie Banks. Great job by Marino.
29 yards on the play. And he's sacked. Jim Wilkes of San Diego State, the former Aztec, gets it. Oh, my. You got to send the herd with that person in the crowd. It's time.
Everybody getting on the act. Inside, Jim Wilkes. Cutting along on a stud. He's able to get through Keith Sims and sack Marino. Certainly the most beleaguered group at this point is the offensive line of the Miami Dolphins. As we take a timeout, we'll be back with the Saints up by 11.
Been sacked 4 times in this ball game, and that has been a trend of the last 3 games.
That's right. The last 2 games as well, they've been sacked in each game 4 times. But again, people are quick to point out the offensive line, but let's take a look at the 3 teams. You've got Buffalo, Houston, and now the Saints. Pretty good set of front fours there.
2nd down and 20. 2:43 left to go. Saints by 11, 24-13. Marino rolls. He's chased. He's sacked again. The ball is loose, but they're going to mark it down. Ronaldo Turnbull was in hot pursuit of Dan Marino, and Turnbull won.
Well, as we mentioned, coming in, giving the others a break, watch him get past the tackle here, Dennis. He's got to get at least a little piece of him, even if Marino is rolling to the other side of the field. Mark Dennis just in effect lets him go, and Turnbull turns on the speed and catches Marino from the backside.
Remember a moment ago it was 1st and 10 at the Saints 47. Well, now it is 3rd and 29 back at the 34-yard line. The middle screen. It'll be 4th down. And you saw that 5th sack. That is the most that Marino has been sacked in one ball game in his career.
Well, you can talk all you want about the quick release, but if people are going to be in your face constantly, you're going to go down. And really what the 5 sacks don't necessarily represent all the hurries that he's had and all the times that he's thrown and gotten knocked down.
Now this is 4th and 29. He'll set 2 wide receivers right, 2 left. He'll go deep. He has to, but he's got to do it all in a hurry. He throws back underneath the coverage of the hook and ladder to Humphrey. And he is out to the 49-yard line. That is not enough. The Saints hold, and they take over with 1:58 left to go in the ballgame.
Shades of 1981 and Duriel Harris to Tony Nathan, but then again, maybe not. Here he laterals the ball, but there's just too much yardage to get. Nice try, and it looked good. But when they come back, the Saints are going to be able to run it out the clock.
They start the celebration early. Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, and Dan Hampton scores and highlights around the NFL today. Immediately following our telecast here with 1 minute and 58 seconds left to go.
He has to be wondering what he has to do to protect himself. It's got to be a real shock to him over these last 3 games.
The ball at the 49-yard line of Miami. New Orleans just needing to run some time off of the clock. Ironhead carries, and of course the Dolphins will try and strip it. They'll call a timeout. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll be back to the Superdome in New Orleans. Gotten super play of the game.
Big sack by Pat Swilling getting outside of Richmond Webb. He strips Dan Marino of the ball, and the pig, Robert Goff, able to gobble it up and head for the touchdown for the Saints. That is
our Hager Rico Freeze got super play.
I was getting to it.
I know you were, but you were laughing so hard. We got to work on a new nickname.
Yeah, somebody that actually likes the nickname Pig.
Yes, he does.
Something.
He does. Second down and 5. Miami with 1 timeout remaining. And they will take it here. Jeff Hunter with the tackle. 1:41.
Last couple of games, that man right there has been second guessed on some of his play calling. J.B. Brown, some of the secondary people. Take a look on the disconsolate faces. But then again, this we mentioned, Charlie, when we had a Miami game earlier in the season. Jeff Ulenik there in the middle, the center who was unable to play, Reggie Roby. But the fact that this was, when they were 6-0 earlier in the season, people were talking about, comparing them to the 72 team and everything else. But the point was made that this was going to be their Burma Road, where they had 4 games in succession. Buffalo, Houston, New Orleans, and then San Francisco. That was going to tell a lot about where that direction that team was headed.
Miami's record will go to 8-4. New Orleans will go to 9-3, a half step behind the 49ers. The Dolphins continue to chase the Buffalo Bills. Both these ball clubs well in the hunt, of course, for one of the wild card spots. Miami now is out of timeout. Ironhead again moving the pile. And so for the Miami Dolphins, they must now consider the wild card situation. This is updated, assuming that they're going to lose here today. The record will go to 8-4 with Denver, Kansas City. One of those, of course, would probably, would win in the West. The others would be at 7-4. Houston is there in the chase. San Diego is on the cusp. Raiders and Cleveland are right there. So Cleveland is winning their ball game. They'll go to 6-6. Raiders and San Diego play later today. So it's going to be an interesting month of December on NBC. And the remaining schedule for Miami at San Francisco, the Raiders, the Jets, they finish up at New England. Fourth down and short, as you see. 1:20 left to go. And I would bet the house on Ironhead. And the dome and the car.
The way it looks right now, that's their only choice, right?
That's right.
Well, you're some gambler.
I know. Not a big surprise. He's got the first down. That will fix it for the Saints. Let's look at their remaining schedule. Atlanta, that's on Thursday night. You've got to get ready in a hurry for that one at the Rams, who are much improved. Buffalo, tough ball game. They finish up at the Jets.
And they've still got an outside chance. They're one game behind the San Francisco 49ers, and it doesn't help the fact that they've lost twice to them. But the 49ers have a tough road to hoe as well, playing Miami next week. So it'll be interesting down the stretch to see what happens.
The New Orleans Saints known for their defense, and the defense does it again.
And they feel like they haven't really gotten their due nationally, and I think in a game like today, people will start to recognize the quality that this team has, particularly on the defensive side of the ball.
And Monday night against Washington, last Monday night,
they're making some large steps to being a nationally known power.
And they will be seen nationally again on Thursday night against Atlanta. And the Saints win it by a score of 24-13. Their record now is 9-3. And we'll be back to the Superdome in New Orleans right after this. New Orleans wins the ball game, and they're looking good.
Yeah, they are looking good. As we mentioned, they've got a really good shot at winning the division, but even so, they could be a first wild card team. And I would guess that this is the year that New Orleans is going to break through and win a playoff game.
And for Miami, the Dolphins, well, they've got their work cut out for them. But you stay with us this afternoon for the Old Spice NFL Live postgame report with Bob, O.J., and Dan. For Todd Christensen, I'm Charlie Jones. So long from the Superdome.
With 4,900 touchdowns a day,
fragrance and deodorant.
Most of the folks around the country saw the Dolphins and the Saints. We welcome that audience. Dan Hampton is here along with O.J. Simpson. Let's look at highlights of the Saints' 24-13 win over the Dolphins today. A victory that took the Saints to 9-3 and dropped Miami to 8-4. This is in the first quarter. Bobby Hebert will throw a perfect pass to Quinn Early along the right sideline. Outstretched grab, 32-yard pickup. Set up a Dalton Hilliard 1-yard touchdown run to give them a 7-0 lead. It was tied at 7 at the half because Marino threw his 21st touchdown pass of the year. That leads the NFL, at least for the time being, over Jim Kelly, who plays at Indianapolis a bit later. That one to Mark Duper tied it at 7. But here's a big play. Pat Swilling, rushing from the outside, slaps the ball away, and it's recovered by Goff, Robert Goff, the nose tackle, who takes it in for the touchdown from 28 yards out. That snapped to 10 all-time, made it 17-10. And here in the fourth quarter, Marino will overthrow Duper. Vince Buck will intercept the pass. Then he follows a host of Saint blockers, 34 yards for the touchdown. New Orleans with a 24-13 lead and a 24-13 victory. And let's turn to O.J. for a comment.
Well, Miami certainly has more problems than we originally thought. At the top of the show, we were talking about they were undefeated with Offerdahl. Of course, he hasn't been playing lately. They haven't been winning that many games lately, but they got bigger problems than that. Their offensive line just is not getting the job done. Marino was sacked 5 times today. That's a record for Marino. That's 13 sacks in the last 3 games. Can't win with that.
Well, it's not only the offensive line, but this New Orleans defense is a bunch that you won't confuse with a bunch of guys drinking decaf. They're intense and they're relentless. And today, I think Dan Marino probably felt like Super Dave Osborne by the end of it. I mean, he was ragged and waiting for the end of it.
All right, we are waiting for the end of the Browns and the Bears, and so too are your former teammates because they're about to lose their 5th in a row. They'll fall